Hi, this is Doug with IdahoMMA.com. I'm here with Chris Reyna with SideKicks Martial Arts in Nampa. Thank you for your time, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So now this is getting to know who Chris Reyna is and how you got started in martial arts. Tell us your story. How'd you get started?
Well, it started when I was 4 years old, which was 1981. The neighborhood kids where I lived, a couple buddies were into it. My dad was a martial artist, and so I really didn't have a choice, at that age. He threw me into training, and, like I said, I'd see the other kids, come home with their trophies, their belts, and, it really, made me really curious. So, I went to my first class, and the rest is history, so, yeah.
So now you say when you were 4 years old, how old are you now?
37.
So you're 37, so like 17, or 17 years ago, you basically started SideKicks. So how'd you got into your training at the age of 4, you progressed up into what, Taekwondo, other martial arts?
Yes, sir.
How'd you transition to get to where you are today and running SideKicks?
Well, martial arts has been quite a journey for me. In the old days, we did traditional martial arts. I mean, MMA wasn't around. It was more Taekwondo or Kempo or karate, Kung Fu. I started doing boxing, cross-training. There was a boxing gym in my neighborhood. I'd go there a couple days a week, and I did I went to a local Taekwondo gym under Master Sanchez, actually, and started doing that. I competed, point sparring, Taekwondo back then, it was about as full contact as you could get. And as I got older, it became less challenging and less fun. So, I sought out more challenging things, and, that transpired into becoming a kickboxer. And the first person that introduced me to Muay Thai was actually a missionary. He had a pair of Thai shorts on, and my dad was like, "Hey, I got you a sparring partner today." And I'm like, "Who do you got?" I was a young, cocky kid. "Oh man, I'll spar anybody." And he said he'll be in here shortly. So this kid came in and put on his Thai trunks and his wraps, and he was shadow boxing, and to me, I was more into flashy stuff because it was more karate back then. Van Damme, Karate Kid, stuff like that. So, this kid was warming up, and I was thinking, I think I could take this kid, and we squared up, and he hit me with the hardest leg kick I've ever felt and dropped me. And I was like, what's that, man? So, it opened my eyes. I got into Muay Thai, and, I kind of learned that, I could take what I've learned in the past and apply it to that. So, I was like, hey, it's a missing link. And, striking was still really big back then. This was like in the early 90s. And then, of course, the Ultimate Fighting Championship came out. And, the jiu-jitsu exposed the striker's weaknesses. And living in Idaho, there was no coaches, that could do that. I mean, we've been a wrestling state forever. And, I never wrestled because I didn't want to wear a singlet. But, I didn't take the groundwork that serious till I saw it and how effective it was. And, from there I sought out, grappling, and, I've always been into weapons and, the other parts that traditional martial arts, applies to fighting. But, I've always been a student, so, I love martial arts. I got, 4 black belts. I got 3 master's belts. I'm a 6th-degree black belt in American martial arts, which is, my system that I'm under Master Dan McCuskey. I got a 4th-degree black belt in Taekwondo, which is like a master's level, and a 4th degree in Ryukyu Kempo. And then, when I Thai boxed, there's different levels of kickboxing too. There's crew level, A-Jarn level. I trained with Saka Sam, and I got my highest level of certification in Muay Thai under him, and I got certified under USA Boxing. you know, I got a purple belt in jits, and you know, right now we're studying with a Filipino stick fighting master. So it's just like it never stops. It's always learning. You know, if you stop learning, it's, you know, you stop getting better. So yeah.
Yeah, well, we've seen sort of like the transition right here at SideKicks. I mean, let's go back to, you know, maybe a couple years ago. You know, Carly Black. You know, she's a student of yours that's been training here. She's great in martial arts. She's great in karate. You know, and you've seen her transition from maybe doing karate tournaments to stepping into the cage and doing the mixed martial arts. Now, how has that been as a coach and a friend of Carly's to see her grow up and now she's going to be going off into the service? What's that like?
Well, it's heart touching. You know, most people are into martial arts for selfish reasons, and you know, me when I was younger, it was more about me and my ego, and you know, about being tougher than the next guy. And when I became a coach, and especially as a father, you know, I realized that, you know, I have a bigger purpose here on this earth, and my martial arts, you know, as I get older, it's like, hey, there has to be a bigger story to this other than fighting. So seeing someone like Carly grow up, you know, yeah, it's heart touching. I mean, because you see these kids grow up in the gym, and you know, you see them with missing teeth, and you know, get braces, and you see them, you know, grow up into being these young women and young men, and you know, you see them, you know, just go through all these life changes, and you know, they become like a second kid to you almost. You know, I mean, you talk to them about their personal problems they're having in school, and you get to know their parents, and you know, you develop a really close personal relationship with them. I mean, and it more or less is, you know, to me, it's seeing them like build their confidence, build their esteem. You know, seeing when they come into my gym, you know, not believing themselves, and growing them into a phenomenal person, someone that, you know, is strong inside, and is willing to help others too. You know, and you know. Carly, you know, it was cool to see her, you know, come from a little kid to point sparring to kickboxing, and then, you know, doing MMA, and then now she's going to defend our country, which to me it's like, whoa, now she's protecting me, you know. I taught her and gave her all these fighting skills, and, you know, at one time it was like, okay, I'm the adult, she's the kid, and it's like now it's like...
Full circle.
You know, it is, it's full circle, and you know, it's cool that someone like her, you know, it's like she's became like my hero. You know, a lot of these kids, you know, it's amazing, you know, how it is full circle. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you know, we talk about mixed martial arts. You've been around, a pioneer of the sport around this area forever. You know, you're real consistent when it comes to, you know, your gym and your kids and the differences you're making. But the difference between mixed martial arts, say back in the 90s, and today, I mean, there's got to be a pretty dramatic difference since you've started.
Yeah, it has. It's evolved a lot, which is, you know, I guess to be a better martial arts, you have to evolve, and it has to go somewhere. But yeah, it has. I mean, I remember the days when there was no weight class, no sanctioning bodies. You know, it was more art against art. And now it's become more of an athletic contest, because now fighters are the complete package. Back then, you know, we could put one of our fighters who was really good at stand-up against, per se, a grappler that had no clue what they were doing on their feet, and be able to maybe win an easy fight. Now there's no easy fights. It's like everybody does everything, and you know, there's more athleticism. You know, it's bang, it's fast and hard from the very start. You know, and I believe if you can't fight 3 hard rounds, you know, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, you know, in MMA now, you're not going to last. In the old days, you might not have good endurance. You might be more of a strategy fighter, and you could get away with that. You know, you could use more legal techniques to save you. And nowadays, there's with the rules and the weight classes and everything else, it's like, you know, everybody's good, you know. So it's changed a lot. So
Well, I know as far as sidekicks martial arts goes, it's still, in the way I view it, stand up, but all the gyms like yourselves, you're being more well-rounded, going with the martial arts now, basically studying martial arts. Do you see a lot more kids today entering into, like back in the day it was just karate or judo or whatever, but now they enter into just a martial arts class or a mixed martial arts class
Yeah, yeah.
right off the bat?
Yeah, they do, and that's what's cool. Like I told you, when I've talked to you privately, I can only imagine how good kids are going to be, 15 years from now. Because when we started back in the day, it was like we were lucky if we had a good striking coach, or someone would be involved in wrestling. They'd be good at one thing, and now it's like the parents are educated because it's become so mainstream. Parents are like, hey, I want my kid to train with what works, and not necessarily to become a fighter or a bully or a tough person, but, at least invest their time and their money into having their kids learn something that works, a lot of martial artists, it's sad to say, but, they train just one art and earn all these belts, and, they're limited. They only know how to strike or kick or just punch. And I do get a lot of younger parents, especially now, that are more familiar and grew up with the era of the UFC, and that's what they want for their kids. But a lot of the parents want the mixed martial arts, but they want their kids to learn the respect and learn how to be a leader, help others, and have better focus, and do better in school, and so yeah, the mixed martial arts, that we do, I kind of look at it, as like a combination of all fighting arts, but also the mental side, the spiritual side, the internal stuff, like I said, the good character. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I know just from a fan from the outside, seeing on my posts and videos of SideKicks athletes, how many views I get. I do know that you're well respected out there. I mean, this video can go on for a long time, and it will, and we'll continue to catch up. But I just thank you for your time, Chris. I'm going to check this off my bucket list because it was a video a long time coming.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time and the insight of getting to know you. And you got anything you want to say out there to, your fans, your family?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, anyone that's ever believed in me, I appreciate it. I don't get a chance to tell everybody that's been there for me, how much I have appreciated it. But, anyone that's been in my life, my students, my parents that bring their kids, my adults, my fighters, people that have always believed in me and have never left me, that, I love you guys, and, you guys are the ones that make me do this and get up every day and want to be in the gym. So, I thank everyone that supported me, and, I love all you guys. So
that's awesome. Chris, thanks again for your time. Continue doing that great work and building the foundation. These kids, that's what it's all about. You're making a difference in their lives, a positive difference, and as a fan and, an uncle and a brother, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thanks for all you do. Thank you.
You bet. We'll see you next time.
All right, buddy. Thank you.